Representatives drawn from various organizations on Friday, 27th August 2021, echoed a call to Kenyans to guard the country's constitution. They were speaking during an event commemorating 11 years since its promulgation.
This constitution might not be perfect. However, it is the birth certificate and the legal foundation for the existence of a constitutional, democratic Kenyan society. It commits us individually and collectively to build a nation based on the democratic values of human dignity, equality, freedom, constitutionalism, and the rule of law. It sets out how the state will be constituted and run. It also outlines our rights and responsibilities as citizens and the creation of democratic institutions to support and safeguard our constitutional democracy.
This same constitution is under attack and it's endangered, as recent efforts to sneak in rogue processes would demonstrate. We have to once again unite and stand against every attempt to shift power from the people and move it back there. To my friends in the media, I would like to make a polite request that we need to be a little more patriotic by beginning to undo the tendency to focus on the destroyers of our gains. We need to move to a point where our screens are no longer filled with thieves, exploiters, and lawless people. And the media can help us to stop celebrating them.
Kenya is not in a constitutional moment. The country has been plunged into a vicious, brazen political succession plot. BBI, the constitutional amendment, are only a special purpose vehicle to deliver that succession. And we must be clear to ourselves. And the Court of Appeal made a very interesting observation that BBI constitutional amendment is full of sweeteners that are actually poisoned with the sole purpose of succeeding the final intent of amending the Constitution, which is not to amend the Constitution for the best of the country, but for the purpose of managing the succession. And finally, I want to say this as I conclude, that when we are here, and why we are here today, is that we want, by the time we are leaving here, and this is, I am not speaking directly to why this is so important to us, is that Washia Maina will help us in helping us to understand the insights and the journey of implementation and the performance of the Constitution 2010. He will give us the standards and the criteria on how we can use to audit the performance and the implementation of the Constitution.
The Court of Appeal on 20th August 2021 upheld a ruling by the Kenyan High Court that declared the Building Bridges Initiative constitutional amendments unconstitutional. The country's Attorney General Paul Kihara is however now headed to the Apex Court to challenge the appellate judge's verdict.
Today I stand here also as a carrier of hope. I stand here as a representative not just of the marginalized and undertrodden, but as a very optimistic carrier of hope. That given the provisions of Constitution 2010, that anybody in this country has a right to exercise whatever gifts, talents, and opportunities that come one's way in order to make Kenya a better country.
When former President Mwai Kibaki and opposition leader Raila Odinga agreed to a truce following the 2007-2008 post-election violence, the reconciliation process identified long-term issues that had to be addressed if Kenya was to move forward and avoid future mass conflicts. and this eventually led to the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution.
We are here today, therefore, to commemorate our very progressive and radical Constitution, one of the best in the world. And since we got it in from 2010, we have been able to enjoy so many benefits, especially at the local level. I know, for example, KJC exists because of the Constitution of Kenya. There has been many attempts by the government, like 4 times, to ban us, and we went to court and got a reprieve just by invoking the provisions of the Constitution of Kenya. For example, Article 47, just the right to fair administrative action. So all those rights in the Constitution actually is what has helped us to exist as a commission and also as many other civil society. It's the process leading to the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. The process was as important as the substance. And I think the most contested process, the most contested issue initially was the question about the process. And once the process was agreed, which was going to be a people-centered process, then people went to discuss the questions about the substance. Even when you look at the decisions of the High Court, those decisions, both the High Court and the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, when it is discussing questions about the BBI, one critical question is brought out, is the question about the process.
Those seeking to protect it say it has been progressive. The 2010 Constitution was meant to transition Kenya from a centralized and rights-insensitive state to a consolidated democracy. Some gains are evident, but much remains unimplemented. Leangari for Mwanzo TV.